we might need to be careful here. We might need to be careful here. Something might be cooking. And it's not going to taste good for us. It might taste good for a club that hasn't tasted something good until last season. This is a crisis meeting, guys. We're in a crisis meeting. This is something we need to pay attention to with immediate effect. If not, we could all get cooked. Ladies and gentlemen, we could all get cooked. So, let's gather around, right? Let's gather. Because we've not been in this territory before. We don't know what's coming. We might have to expect the unexpected for this one. We're going to have to prepare, get a contingency plan in place. I can't speak. I don't know what to do. We've never been here before. So instead of telling you guys are welcome to this video, I'm going to say we've got an emergency. We've got an emergency. And I don't hope that you're doing fine, because I know you're not doing fine unless you support a certain club. What club is that? Tottenham Hotspur announces departure of executive chairman Daniel Levy. Yeah. It's happened. It's happened. It's happened. The one thing I never thought I'd see in my lifetime, it's happened. Let's hear what he's got to say before we get into this. Tottenham announced Daniel Levy has stepped down from his role as executive chairman after nearly 25 years. Levy says, "I'm incredibly proud of the work I have done together with the executive team and all our employees. We have built this club into a global heavyweight competing at the highest level." Well, no, we will not. Okay, let him keep talking. "We have built this club into a global heavyweight competing at the highest level. More than that, we have built a community. I was lucky enough to work with some of the greatest people in the sport, from the team at Lily Whitehouse and Hotspur Way to all the players and managers over the years. I wish to thank all the fans that have supported me over the years. It hasn't always been an easy journey, but significant progress has been made. I will continue to support this club passionately." And this re-emphasizes what has been said. So Tottenham have only gone and done the one thing that we kind of all deep down was hoping would never happen. And we don't know how to react. This is the problem here. Off the bat, yeah, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. Tottenham have had an absolutely phenomenal transfer window. Well, no flipping surprise, is there? You know, Daniel Levy clearly wasn't involved. No wonder Tottenham were moving like a serious club in this transfer window, because Daniel Levy had nothing to do with it, which is why we don't want him to go. But he's now gone after 25 years. So there's a part of me that wants to think, no, but chill, because this is the history of the Tottenham. But the history of the Tottenham was caused by Daniel Levy. This is the problem. If this brother leaves, what are we going to get? Are we actually going to get Tottenham Hotspur, the serious institution? Is that what we're going to get? Because the first signs of a Daniel Levy-less Tottenham is a transfer window where they were actually moving like a big club. This statement, by the way, 25 years, has grown Tottenham into a global institution. Relax, mate. No. they've only gone and had the window that they should have had years ago once we've now found out you're leaving. So I don't know if Daniel Levy had anything to do with getting Kudus, getting Xavi Simons, getting all these guys that have actually been really good signings. Does he really have anything to do with it? Or have Tottenham gone, no, you know what? We got to get rid of this guy. And we got to start moving like a proper Champions League club in order to start achieving, you know, ambition and go for silverware. What's happened here? The threat that we all have, because we have to be realistic here. Tottenham, just by name, sounds hilarious. But without Daniel Levy, with the signings that they've made, with Champions League football, with the monumental stadium that they have, I have to ask the question, are Tottenham actually now finally acting like a serious big club that wants to win? This is why we need an emergency meeting, guys. Because I think they are. I don't feel threatened, but I feel like I got to watch the rearview mirror now. That's my sentiment. And I've never had to look at the rearview mirror for Tottenham. But now I feel like I have to. I feel like there has to be an eye kept on them. Which is weird because we've never had to do that before. Do you understand where I'm coming from? This is my concern. Because as much as we've never looked in the rearview mirror for them before, there's now a risk that whilst looking at them in the rearview mirror, they might actually be gathering speed. You know, when you're driving and you look in the rearview mirror and you see a Nissan Micra, you're not concerned. But when you see, you know, an Aston Martin DB9, or you see a Lamborghini Aventador, or you see a Ferrari Spider, or a Porsche 911, or whatever, you start to look and go, huh, he's catching me. Is he going to whiz past me? I better move out of the way because that one looks like a little bit of a coconut. I've never looked at Tottenham like that before. This is why I feel so out of place. This is Tottenham we're talking about. But deep down, we all know Daniel Levy was the problem at that football club. And now he's gone. The emergency meeting is this. Keep an eye. Because whoever replaces Daniel Levy is going to show us whether they are a serious club now or they're not. So, my message to you guys, Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, and City fans, Man United, I would want to include you in this, but you've got your own problems. I don't feel like you have the facilities to, you know, pay attention to any of this because your attention is from within. So sort your own mess out. After you're done, come back to us. Yeah, I'll let you know what the latest is. But the rest of you, we got to keep an eye on who's getting appointed to replace Daniel Levy. And then we'll be able to know. We'll be able to do some vetting, yeah, and some due diligence to see who's got the reins at Tottenham now. And then we'll know where they're heading. So that's the warning to all of you. And not to take it lightly. Because Tottenham have only gone and done the biggest thing that they needed to do. And I don't want to live in a world where Tottenham are a dangerous club. I don't. Yeah. I know Arsenal, you lot feel just as deeply as us about this one. Maybe even more. Maybe even more than us. So you don't have more vested interest in this. But the rest of you, this is just for your own safety and precaution. Yeah? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah? So brothers in arms kind of thing going on here. We can't allow this football club to infiltrate all of our dominance. Nah. Imagine Tottenham, title contender. What? No. We ain't entering that stratosphere. We're not doing it. So everyone just keep an eye out, yeah? And we'll see what happens. That's the message. So, let me know your thoughts. Daniel Levy leaves Tottenham after 25 years. Cannot believe it. But it all adds up. It all adds up. No wonder they had a blinding window. You know? He won the Europa League. Then he leaves. They have a blinding window. I'm like, flipping hell. I don't know. Have Tottenham woken up from the never-ending sleep? Maybe. Let's be careful here. The last thing we need is a rambling of cocky and confident Tottenham fans running round the gaff. I mean, we've never had that before. I don't want to know what that's going to be like. Yeah. With all due respect, confident and cocky Arsenal fans running about is bad enough. I'm not looking to see the other side of North London. They were meant to be the quiet guys that don't normally say anything. I can't have them enter our realm. No, not happening. So, word of warning to everyone, yeah? Kind of got to come together on this and keep an eye for all of our safety. Okay. So, that's that. Let me know your thoughts down below. To Chelsea, where we're going to end the video. Normally we start with it, but that was too much of an emergency to ignore and leave until the end. No. So, latest with Chelsea is UEFA have approved Chelsea's squad submission in line with the agreement. Statement says the squad list submitted fulfilled the criteria of the settlement agreement and it was therefore already reviewed and approved before publication on UEFA's website. So basically, the settlement agreement that Chelsea have with UEFA in relation to the agreement in, the not getting suspended and doing everything according to their criteria. Well, that has been done and that has been in accordance and our window has been clean. So we've passed the checks. We've done everything relating to the settlement, which means we're good. But we've just got to move with the squad that we have now and see what we can do with it. So let's wait and see how it's going to pan out for this season, how it's going to pan out for next season, how it's going to do all of that. But one thing that I have to stress, just like Tottenham and the one thing that I mentioned there about their spaceship stadium, we got to get our motions going for the stadium, man. We need a new stadium. We got to get that moving. One way or another, we got to get that moving. So look, whether there's a chance to do something at Stamford Bridge or whether we're going to start building elsewhere, if we're going to go to Earls Court, we got to get news ASAP, right? Because it's September. And as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I know, Earls Court will start being built in December. So we got to hurry up if we want that plot of land, if there's any chance of even getting it. But we have got to find out and we've got to know. So let's move. But Chelsea are in the clear, according to UEFA, for this season. So let's see how it's all going to pan out. And the Champions League football starting at the back end of this month. So when we get into the second half of September, we're going to go through the Champions League games and we're going to start that journey. And the watch-alongs will be around. So make sure you're subscribed, notification bell on. And like I've said before, with a little hint, not just here. You'll like it. Now, to end, I've got a statement from a player. And something very, very interesting was said that I thought would be good to talk about here. So, here it is. Mark Yu says, Chelsea are the best team in the world at the moment. Respect. It's true. They have a squad, player by player, incredible. Maresca is very good. And when we go out on the pitch, we know what to do. The opponent has nothing to do. He's not the first player to say this, and this is why I'm highlighting it, because there seems to be a trend going on now with Chelsea players that talk about Maresca. They all say the same thing. They all say that every single little detail is covered in training and therefore covered in the match that we already know what we have to execute in order to stop the opponent. It seems like every single thing based on the opponent that we're playing, the squad are already aware, they know, and then it's their job to go out and execute. But it goes to show that the job that Maresca is doing, both individually and bringing into the training ground for the players to understand, adapt to, and learn seems to be top tier. He seems to be very, very attentive to detail, which is personally, and I've said this, and this is why I used to praise Jose so much, because he self-admittedly, other players spoke about him like that too, and we all know how many times Jose used to watch the opponent. If you remember, what is it that he used to say? Back then it was DVDs. Now we've got, footage on the internet and all that. But back then, what was it? It was, he has the DVD of the team that he's got to watch, the DVD that gets assembled, and he plays it and he watches everything, and not just watches everything at once, but he pauses, plays, pauses, plays, pauses, plays, pauses, plays, finishes it, goes back again, puts it back in, does the same thing again, time after time after time after time after time, and then he'll feel like he knows exactly what the opponent's going to be about. It seems like Maresca has that sort of level of attention to detail when it comes to the opponents that we're playing, and how much he reflects that in the training sessions. Like I've said, Mark Hughes not the first guy to talk about Maresca's methods. And this is a good thing. Personally, I love to hear that, which is why I'm highlighting it, because it's how I feel, and I feel like you guys will get value from this. So I'm very happy to hear that. And based on the way that we play and how we move and how much Maresca is active, not just on the touchline, but you see in terms of what he says and how he acts, and everything that he portrays goes to show that, yes, there is a big amount of work on his part that goes into games. With time, we begin to understand Maresca more, unlike the beginning when we all had doubts because he was plucked out of the championship, if you remember. And with more time that passes by, the more that we get to hear about him, the more that I actually personally begin to like him even more. So, Maresca, fair play. If that is how you're working and how you're conducting things, then I can't ask for more. That is exactly how I want a manager to be able to work. And the attention to detail, for me, I think is crucial. Many managers, I feel like, don't go to that level. Many managers will probably watch a few things, have an idea, and then they'll base it on the players, and they'll try ways to stop their players based on what they know. Maresca seems like the guy to go and watch them. Watch, and go over the top to get the knowledge that he feels like he needs to pull out, which is, like I've said, personally, how I like my managers to work. So, big up to Maresca. Fair play. But let me know your thoughts. Do you have a certain way that you like your managers to conduct themselves, or how you want them to work, how you think it's best? Do you like what you hear now, or do you think it's not enough? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear. Much appreciated. But let me know your thoughts down below on everything, starting from, with this and with Tottenham as well, and Daniel Levy leaving Tottenham after 25 years. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think Tottenham will be a threat, or do you think they're just going to keep up the mantra of the history of the Tottenham? I hope so, but I need to know your opinions down in the comments. So let me know down below and we can come to a consensus. So I'll catch you there. Thank you all so much, people. I'll see you tomorrow for what could be a double. Today, there wasn't enough for a double, if I'm being completely honest. I'm not going to force things when there's just nothing out or nothing to discuss. But this video, I'm sure, is enough. So let me know tomorrow, or let me know when tomorrow there will be a double upload if it suffices. If not, you're definitely getting one. So make sure you're here for it. Things are quieter naturally, international break. But when the games come back up and running, you best believe we're going to be all guns blazing. So make sure you subscribe, notification bell on, and I'll see you tomorrow. In a bit, people. Look after yourselves, take care, and peace.